Hello everyone. All right, so really quickly in this video, I want to basically do something a little bit different. I wanted to share a few layouts that I created using the Party Time Scrapbooking Template Kit, and also along with that, kind of deconstruct these pages using then the designer template. So kind of going backwards. Usually you go designer templates to a finished page. We're going to showcase a finished page and then go backwards to a designer template. All right, so here we are. I created quite a few pages here. It was a fun session. I ended up taking, some of my stash of paper on these pages that you see here. And I took basically just my basic tools and the Party Time Scrapbooking Template Kit. And I took it out into the living room, put up a folding table, and watched a show with the kids, the family, and ended up knocking a few pages out, which, in and of itself is satisfying, but I'm pretty happy with how these pages finished. I think they're pretty cute. So let's take a peek at them together. So here's this one pager. I had this random picture floating around, and so I wanted to, actually scrapbook it. And so I found some paper that I had in my stash, and I thought, it's just a one picture, so it doesn't have to be too extravagant, but also not too much constructed as far as the page goes, right? It's pretty easy to take a picture, and then basically you're just going to build up around that page and build a frame for that picture. And so a nice border always anchors your photo and then really builds that nice structure as far as a frame goes. I did pull in the party trails here in the Party Time set so that it just kind of gave it a little bit more movement. And then also I placed this splat. You can call it a splat, you can call it a flower, you can just call it a design element, because really that's all I wanted, was just kind of a piece that gave a little bit of structure up here on the top of my layout, and then allowed a place for me to utilize some of these stickers that I've had for years. And so what I really love about the designer templates too is they have such a good quality about them, right? That whether you use them alone, they really give a nice quality, that finished look to your page. But then it does give you a place to kind of structure some of those stickers or other elements that you might have in your stash. And in this case, that is what happened here. Instead of my stickers floating off, I was able to kind of fill in those spots with a little bit more embellishment, so to speak, and use those. But as far as the designer templates, that's basically the design of my layout, and then it transformed into this finished page. So quickly, so easily. It was actually really fun to just scrapbook that picture and look at it and reminisce. And then here they go growing up. So they were little babies, and then all of a sudden, they are, I think they're like 12 in this picture, maybe 11, 12, not quite sure, but I'll have to look that up. And gosh, yeah, 11 or 12, we'll see, we'll go back on that. But this layout, same designer templates from Party Time. So same border, I wanted that at the bottom. I did not use the trails on this one. I took this splat, placed it over here. And of course, in this case, I did use a larger picture, a 5x7, still placed it in the center here. And then because it was their birthday here, I did utilize, of course, some of these other fun festive designs in this kit to kind of dress it up a little bit more. I love the banner. I took the stripe pattern that was already part of the paper. So it already made all of my little pennants different colors naturally that way. So that was easy, just cutting it out of that striped paper, the banner out of the striped paper. And I placed the balloons in my right corner to kind of offset this bottom left corner. I love how Party Time 5 and 8, they layer cute together. So if you do want to kind of bring to light that flower look, and I did use, pinks and stuff like that. So it kind of gives that flower look in this case, compared to maybe just a pop of color or something like that. It kind of takes on a new look in that. And then I just placed the presents down here at the bottom as well on that. So love these two presents here that come in this kit. Okay, And then from there, let me see here. What I did next is I took, well, the next page I did, that's it. And then I just cut some strips and then again added some few stickers through that collection. So the next page that I created was this one. This was super fun. And I really love how, I don't know, just carefree the page is. It was very relaxing to scrapbook. And I really felt very carefree while scrapbooking it. It was really nice to do that. And this was all from my stash. I actually had to mix and match some paper collections. But yeah, it was so fun. So on this one, I did pull in the placemat number 1, okay? And so for me, I did the border, of course, at the bottom. Actually, let's just clear our little canvas, so to speak, here. And I just did the border here at the bottom. I did a few strips. I used the placemat, and in this case, a little bit different. I wanted the placemat to be extended, so I just extended the length so that I could fit 2 4x6s on there. So that I did, adjust it a little bit to my needs, which is great about designer templates. You can definitely do that. Added Party Time 5 here. This little fun element actually came from the paper itself. And so I just fussy cut that out of the paper. It was part of that paper design. So another great way to take advantage of that. Those patterns in your papers where you see kind of a design that you can maybe cut out and utilize as your embellishments. I only did part of the banner there. I did 5 of them, so I just did from this one to this one, kind of offset that in the corner from this over here. And I did take advantage of the tag that's in placemat, used it as a stencil to trace it out of some other paper and then pop that up with a little title. And that's basically it on this layout. It was super easy, super fun to accomplish, and I really enjoyed just the time that I had to scrapbook this. This right here in the stripes, I will point this out. This actually was fun. So initially I cut, like I said, just a few different strips of paper, like 1-inch strip of a variety of different colors, layered them, and then I thought, I wanted to add just a little bit more, I mean, you can say texture, but really it's, just a little bit more interest to those strips. And so what I did is I took the bottom of the scallop placement number 1, and then I only traced out a portion of the strips. So traced out a portion here and then cut the next part straight. And then I did the opposite side on the next strip and did straight. And then these ones I just kept straight. So that's kind of a fun little thing that you can try out. All right, now on to a few other layouts using again placement or Party Time here. I do love how placemats work really great with Party Time. So same placemat here. I used it on this page. I actually used the placemat photos basically as these are guidelines, and I used them just as that guideline. It allowed me to quickly design a page, literally minutes. And then in this one I did do the banner instead of the tag, and then I decided to go ahead and cut each one of those pendants out of different colors, which the way I go about doing that is I just cut one banner as a base, and then I just traced each one of those out individually out of the pattern papers I want, and then I adhered those to those sections on the top. And then of course some little balloons here, some gifts up here. Just kind of set that mood a little bit with those accents, and then trace and cut it out of your paper. And so it was exciting. Again, these ones I had framed for a little bit, so I just had these floating around because I took them out of a frame, and then finally got to scrapbook them. And since there was only 2, a 1-pager worked great for that. All right, this other page here, this one I had this 1 5x7 from my mother's wedding, and that's my grandma and my grandpa and my mother and my father. And so that was kind of fun to, finally get a home for it in my scrapbook album. And so in this case, I took the placemats number 2, placed that on top. This actually was part of the paper. It was a chevron pattern paper. I went ahead and cut just that out and then placed that on top of the paper. Same thing with this flower, the heart. That all came out of this paper collection. This paper collection was a little, it was big and busy. You can imagine big flowers, big chevrons. And so for me, I was like, oh, it's gonna make my page too busy. So I only could use a few of the sheets, and unfortunately the back of the sheets were just as busy, it seems. And so, I mean, it ended up coming together really quickly, but because of that, I was looking at these patterns and I was thinking, well, if I can't really cut much out of them, then I will cut the designs out of them and use them as embellishments on the page instead. So they were definitely nice to do that. So here we go with this lovely splat again. I didn't use the placemat as recommended in this case, but I did use the outside design, and then use that kind of as that anchor placemat for that background that I'm creating here. And we'll go like that. Add our cakes. And I did use the bracket here just because the layering is so nice and easy with the Party Time. I loved the little look of the bracket kind of happening here. Gave another pop of pattern and texture to my design as well. And then kind of offsetted that. So ultimately, that's kind of that look here with this finished page. And on this cake, I know a few of you guys were asking, so I just use this specialty paper. And the great thing about specialty paper, a little goes a long way. And so I just used that and traced that out of my, of course, my cake out of this paper. And yeah, and then used a little stencil here with, you know, that. And then that's it, that's all it was. So that was really fun to kind of create a cake. And I love that about the cake because it can be quickly, just by transforming that paper, like changing that up, it can go from a wedding cake to more of a happy birthday cake to more of an anniversary, retirement cake, whatever cake you desire. I actually want cake now. I'm desiring to eat cake. Here's one more page since I have you using the Party Time. And this one I happened to create, of course, with, it was actually in one of our crop lives, so just recently, and this was just a 2-page spread that I ended up creating. Same thing, using Party Time. I laid those designs out, so easy, sticking with this one set here, pulled in the trails from the set to add a little bit of movement, and of course, all of these other fun designs. So again, this is why I'm like, I don't know what you call this, a splat of flower. You really can't call it much because once you change that paper, that really changes the mood of it all as well. And so that was really easy to quickly design that. That was a lot of fun. I had a really fun during that live event. And I love seeing all of your guys' versions of, specifically this was a sketch, and so we created, and I just was like, a sketch and the scrapbooking template kit. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that. And so this page just came together so quickly, and I love the end result. It turned out really cute. All right, guys. Well, hopefully these ideas inspired you. Make sure to check out the ideas over in the product gallery for this product. And of course, we would always love to see what you create. And so make sure to share it with us in the community. And until next time, keep playing to create. Bye now.